Hey guys, I'm here with Lauren Murphy, is ranked number 6, I'm pretty sure now.
Yep.
You're moving up the ladder actually pretty quick at the flyweight. Are you feeling a lot better there than bantamweight?
Yeah, I feel better. I think because I'm at a new camp. I think that's what really
Okay.
made the difference. Yeah. After I fought Sajara, I
Yeah.
moved out of Arizona, left the lab, came out to Texas, and started training at Henzo's actually. My
Okay.
husband worked at a Henzo's, and then Main Street Muay Thai with Bob Perez, and also at
Okay.
Gracie Baja Katie with Alex Seasoning.
So you're working a lot on your ground game and stuff?
I actually started my MMA career from jiu-jitsu. So, I'm
You
actually,
walked in.
oops.
Sorry. You walked in
Uh,
with your son, right? And then you just fell in love with it
yeah.
yourself? Okay.
Yeah, so I've been working a lot on my boxing and kickboxing while I've been out here, and then my husband is a black belt, and he's generally my grappling coach for the most part. So
Okay.
yeah, I love working with him. So yeah, we're covering all areas out here, I think. But I've had a really good chance to work on my striking, especially.
Okay. Okay. How is the preparation going for next Saturday?
Really well. I don't think I mean, maybe we could have had a longer camp, but that has its
Yeah.
pros and cons. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just gone perfectly. I'm for sure gonna make weight next weekend. And
Yes.
yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight. I'm in good shape. I'm ready to do this.
How do you feel about fighting in the no audience? A lot of fighters I've talked to have said that it helps them mentally because you don't have the crowd there, but some don't. It benefits to both fighters. How do you think that's going to affect you?
I love the crowd actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause it just kind of it's just enough of a distraction to help me fight like loosely. I think, a lot of times you can kind of
yeah,
get lost in the crowd and feed off their energy and really
it's
like
true.
put yourself out there for them. Sometimes it's actually harder, especially for me, I feel, when there's not a big crowd and like the only crowd is Dana and the
Yeah,
matchmakers. So it's not that there's no crowd, it's just that only the really important people get to be there.
yeah,
But
I agree.
honestly, I'm really excited about it this time because when I fought on the Ultimate Fighter, there was no audience, and it really messed with
Oh
my
yeah.
head a lot, like a lot. And so
Hmm.
I always kind of wanted to redo. I was always like, fuck, I wish I could like do that again. I wish I could get that one
Yeah,
back so I could do it better. And I think I'm going to this time. I know I'm going to. I have so many more
hmm.
tools to like deal with the nerves, and I'm just in such a different place mentally that I'm really excited for, like, in my mind, to me personally, like, it's kind of a little redo. I get like a chance to
Absolutely.
prove to myself I can do it.
So do you feel like this is the weight class that you're going to stick with throughout your career as a flyweight?
Yeah, I like it. The only thing I could see is if the cuts to 125 started getting really hard,
Yeah.
or like if my weight, like if I stopped losing weight so easily,
Hmm.
then maybe I would think about it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I feel really good going to this weight. The cuts have been easy, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
And another benefit is the or the octagon is smaller, so you're probably used to that from the Ultimate Fighter, so that will probably be more benefit to you too already.
Yeah, I think I have fought in the small octagon a couple times actually. So I
Okay.
don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I think I fought in the small one several times, but yeah, to me it doesn't matter. The big cage at the pay-per-view in February,
Yeah.
that felt huge. So I
Yeah.
think I might be a little more at home in a smaller octagon.
Absolutely. How was your time on the Ultimate Fighter? Did you enjoy that experience?
Oh my gosh. I just got in big trouble for talking about the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh boy.
Not big trouble, but there were good parts and bad parts to it,
Yeah.
and some of the really good things that came out of it were that I formed a lot of relationships with the women in that house that,
Yeah.
man, that it just went a really long way. I still keep in touch with a lot of those women, and I really respect them, and it's just really benefited me the last couple of years to have them in my circle of friends. Like, I really love the women that I met there. It was definitely a really good learning experience. I think that if I had been super successful on Tough, I wouldn't have made the changes that I've made.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with the changes that I've made, not just in my camp, but in the way I live my life. Like, I cleaned up
Yeah.
my diet a lot. I started meditating. I started doing things daily to try to be a little more mindful and a little more grateful, and to make sure that
Hmm.
my attitude was in check all the time. And I don't think I ever would have done that if I had gone on the Ultimate Fighter and like walked through everybody, or like or made it to the finals or
Hmm.
something. So in a way, it's a really good thing. Like it was hard at the time, and some of the aftermath has been hard, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna
It's a
be
learning
okay.
experience.
For sure, you know, it kind of sucks that I had to have like those learning experiences on
Yeah.
such a big stage, but that's just what happens. Like I made it to the top really fast when I started my career. I mean, I made it to the UFC in such a short amount of time.
And I think you fought Sarah McMahon, which is a huge name at first, right?
Yeah, she was my first fight. Liz Carmouche was
Wow.
my second fight. Caitlin
Wow.
Chukagian was my fourth fight. So it's like
Yeah.
I've fought all tough people at 135.
Yeah.
And man, it was just it was a rough time. It was a rough time.
Yeah. How is the testing so far? Are you feeling confident with how the UFC is handling the COVID-19?
Yeah, I'm actually not I don't want to say I'm not worried about COVID because I think taking precautions is really smart. And when back in like February, I think it was late February, everybody started going on lockdown. Like I quarantined hardcore for a couple weeks, didn't leave my house, was super careful. Even like during this whole training camp, I kept it to very few select partners, and we trained at my house quite a bit. And I kept it to just a few gyms. I didn't travel nearly as much as I usually do, and I interacted with a lot less people. But
you got your trainer there, so it's kind of beneficial.
Yeah, one of them lives with me, which is really, really nice. Yeah. And then, you know, we made an effort. Like I went to my coach's house several times a week and would hit mitts with him in his garage. We did use one gym for our hard sparring and our wrestling days and stuff like that where we needed space. But yeah, we made use of that time. I did a ton of drilling. So no, I don't hate on the UFC for having their shows during COVID, and I think they're doing everything they need to make sure that everybody's safe. In fact, some of the regulations people have come out with, like not the UFC necessarily, but some of it is like, I'm like, why? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I agree. A quick question. So they're paying you for your contract money, right? Because you're seeing a lot of fighters like Jorge Masvidal, John Jones, who are asking for more money, especially in this time when there's no gate. Like those fighters are regardless getting what they signed for, right? They're not taking anything away from your contracts.
I don't know. I know that for me, I'm on a 4-fight deal right now with the UFC. Yeah. And I'm on the second fight of my 4-fight deal. So
okay.
I know that's how it works for me. To be honest with you, I think like especially somebody like John Jones, my guess is that he negotiates from fight to fight, but I don't honestly know how any of that works. But actually that's not even true because he just re-signed with the UFC.
Yeah, he signed like an 8 deal.
Yeah, and it was like 3 fights ago or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, I couldn't tell you how those guys' contract works. Like when I get to their level and their pay structure and their level of fame, I'll let you know.
And that could actually come pretty soon because I'm assuming that if you win this fight coming up Saturday, that you could ask for a title shot. And I personally think you deserve it. You're going to beat the 5th ranked fighter, and she's coming off a big win over Macy Barber. Are you going to be expecting a title shot after this win?
I don't expect anything with the UFC ever, but I think that I would have a pretty good case for making a run at the title. I don't know if they're going to stick JoJo Calderwood in there like right away or what, but if they do, like if I get the win this next Saturday, then I definitely would deserve the title shot over JoJo Calderwood because it's like she beat Andrea Lee by a split decision. And she got a title shot. It's like I just beat Andrea Lee by a split decision. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to fight the number 5 ranked fighter, and I knocked out the number 12 ranked fighter at the time. Yeah. So I'll be on a 3-fight win streak in the division, and I don't know who else can say that right now that's beat ranked opponents. You know what I mean? There might be some women outside the rankings that have beat unranked women, but it's like you fight people in the top 5 then. You know what I mean? I'm fighting ranked opponents, and I'm winning these fights, and I have more of those wins than anybody else in the division if I win next weekend. So we got to get past that one first.
Besides Valentina, I think that would be the longest streak in the division as well. So I'm not 100% on that, but I think so.
Maybe, yeah. I would have to go back and look. There's a couple girls that could have good streaks, like Roxanne is on a 2-fight winning streak, or somebody that's like lower ranked, maybe like Jillian Robertson. She can compile a bunch of wins, but generally it's over like unranked women. And I'm not saying she can't beat somebody in the rankings because I actually really love Jillian, but I just think it's a different level. You know what I mean? When you're getting
Yeah.
these wins in the rankings, the rankings should count for something. They kind of don't.
They
but
should.
They should. Yeah.
Well, what you got to do is you got to go yell at Dana after the fight, or make it do something.
Do something. I know. Do something
yeah.
crazy. I know.
Something like Stipe, give me my shot. Just do it up and get that title shot for us.
I know. Yeah. Fighters do come up with crazy stuff sometimes to
Yeah.
get his attention, huh?
Absolutely. I got a couple questions from the fans, actually. I already asked one. Would you ever fight at bantamweight again? I think you covered that if the weight didn't come off as easy anymore.
Yeah, I would, and I would do it actually for the right fight too. Like if the UFC called me and they were like, we have a matchup at bantamweight, like if it was the right fight, I would go back up to bantamweight for a fight or two.
Perfect. And I just wanted to say, you bring a style I think that would give Valentina problems too. A lot of girls I find don't want to get in her face. I feel like you'd be able to really go after her. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so. I like where your head's at for sure. I feel like I'm super tough, and she's so fast. That's what's really giving everybody in the division problems is how fast she is. But I hope I do get my chance someday. I would give it everything.
I'll be rooting for you Saturday to get that title shot for sure, because I think you deserve it with a win.
Thank you.
Is there someone that you specifically looked up to when you were getting into MMA?
I really looked up to Cyborg. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Christine Justino.
Yeah.
She was just so badass at the time, and I started watching MMA right around the time that she fought Gina Carano, maybe right after that or something. And she was the queen. She was the reigning queen, and she was like just
destroying everyone.
Yeah, she was just beating the shit out of everybody, And so yeah, she was who I really looked up to for a long time. I think until she got busted for steroids, and then I was like, oh, kind of.
Yeah. And I'll ask you a question about that too. Do you think, I seen a post about Mark Hunt, he said when you get busted for steroids like John Jones has, there's controversy from what he said of, does that ruin his GOAT status? Can he ever become the greatest of all time because of that?
Did he get flat out caught, or was it like one of those like banned substances, accidental ingestion things?
I'm pretty sure it's just a banned substance that he says were the dick pills.
That's right. Man, I definitely look at fighters that have never been popped differently than I look at fighters who have been popped for steroids. Yeah, it is. I mean, if you intentionally ingest something, then it's flat out cheating. And if you unintentionally ingest something, it's maybe not flat out cheating, but it is pretty stupid, And so you got guys like GSP that never popped for anything. Like, I think that say a lot,
Yeah, he's our Canadian hero here. So
yeah.
I actually do think John Jones still is the person I look up to, but George is a close second just for who he was.
Yeah.
I think a little differently. I just don't know exactly if he was on it. That's my personal opinion, and I'm like, I don't want to believe he was on something, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's hard because there's guys like Sean O'Malley who he was suspended for like 2 years for trace substances.
Yeah.
Sean, I really believe he would not cheat. Like, just can't see it in the kid. I don't, you know what I mean?
He's amazing too.
Yeah, and he's so good. So, like, in those kind of cases, I'm like, well, God, he did get suspended, but fuck, I know Sean. And he said it, said the trace amounts and that it came from something like, I don't even think he knows what it came from. And, I just can't see that. So,
or even Kelvin Gastelum getting busted for marijuana. I don't think that's a little bit crazy how much of a fine or a suspension they get for that.
Yeah, they should stop doing that altogether. Like, just take marijuana off the list, because all fighters smoke weed. Like, I mean, UFC cares. Like, actually, both Jessica Ai and Cynthia Cavillo got popped for weed, both of them, and they're main eventing tomorrow. I don't think the UFC cares too much, but USADA should just take it off the list.
Oh, for sure. And my last question is for you is from another fan. Was it hard getting into MMA with any professional amateur fights or any amateur fights?
Without any amateur fights?
Yeah.
I mean, not really, because I was lucky where I lived in Alaska. At the time, all we had was pro, and it's a very small community in Alaska, and there were like 3 or 4 other women at the time that were fighters. and we were all about the same weight class. So we all fought each other. And it went on our pro records, but I don't think any of us like dreamed that we would become like top ranked UFC fighters.
Yeah.
It was so long ago, like women weren't allowed in the UFC. So just for me at the time, it wasn't hard because that was all there was. But I imagine probably in other where there's commissions and things to regulate that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll sneak one more in there.
Okay.
Off that, do you look up to Ronda Rousey as someone who really put MMA on the map for everyone, or do you think that she tarnishes that out of from what she says? She says a lot of absurd things, and I was just getting your idea of that, of how much she really meant to the women division.
Everything. I really love Ronda Rousey, and I know people tend to talk about her bad attitude, or they tend to not like her for whatever reason, and there was very first came on the scene when I didn't like her either, at the very, very beginning, like when she was in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
But then, man, just did so much, and she opened the doors for everybody. I don't think anybody can deny that what she did was incredible. She blew through the top 10 in under a minute. Like, she was knocking girls out. She was arm barring girls. She was getting these crazy submissions over top fighters, over women that, like...
Even today.
Yes, exactly. Women like, Kat Zingano and Misha Tate and just...
Or Batch Kahea is still ranked, and she beat her, so...
Yep. Sarah McMahon, she knocked out liver shot.
Yeah.
All her fights ended in these spectacular, amazing ways. She was sexy. She was always saying stuff that would get your attention, whether for good or for bad. She also did a lot of charity work, which I think people don't know enough. To be honest with you, she really donated a lot of money to charity and did a lot of good for less fortunate people. And it's like, man, people don't focus on that about her. But I really love Ronda, and one of the things that I like about her is that she was totally herself, and said what she thought, and like, you might not like
what she did.
Yeah, you might not like her attitude, but it's like, you're not going to find a sane man at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a special kind of asshole to be at that level of athletic.
Yeah.
And not just at the top of the UFC, but an Olympian. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. So and then she was the WWE champ, but just the level of athleticism and the way she took everything to the highest level, I think, is unbelievable. I think she's one of the best female athletes,
Yeah, absolutely. She definitely did something special, and I think every girl should be appreciative of what or a woman did in the MMA for what they did for you guys. So sorry, I'm stumbling over my words there.
No, it's all good. She took everything to another level. And even before Conor McGregor, she was the one that was kind of the breakout star, where she was branching out into movies and magazines and doing just, how do they say, there's a phrase for it where they talk about somebody that becomes famous outside their own sport,
Oh, I know what word you're talking about. I can't even think about it right now.
Yeah. That, and she was one of the first and one of the few and one of the only, and yeah, I have mad respect for Ronda, and I love
Me too.
Yeah,
absolutely. I hope she makes it back to the WWE soon. So is there anything you want to say to the fans before I let you go?
No, just that I'm so excited to go fight. I can't wait to put on another show. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to hit hard. I'm going to be mean. And I can't wait to get in the top 5. But mostly I just can't wait to go out and perform.
And you got to go get that title shot.
Yeah, I am going to get that title shot.
And you got to yell out the combat hour.
The combat hour. And then I'm going to come back on. So, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We'll keep in touch. I really appreciate everything you've done for today.
No, thank you. This was awesome.
Awesome. Right. Thank you very much.